What's good, fam? This is what happened when the elite scholars at Yale Law stepped into the arena to tell Drake to sit his behind down once and for all. On April 3rd, 2026, the Floyd Abrams Institute for Freedom of Expression at Yale Law School filed a massive amicus brief in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. Filing this brief practically ends any hope the boy had of winning because these are some of the most respected legal minds in the country. They are backing UMG and Kendrick Lamar by telling the court that Drake's 117-page appeal is a total disaster that deserves to be thrown out. An amicus brief happens when a third party tells the judge that one side is making a move so ridiculous they had to intervene for the law. These scholars are using a legendary boxing match analogy to explain why Drake has no legal standing to complain about the bars Kendrick dropped. This conflict is no longer a standard rap battle because Drake's massive ego trapped him in a legal corner he cannot escape from. He really thought he could use the court system to fix his reputation after Kendrick dismantled him in front of the whole world. Yale experts are not letting him get away with it because they say Drake built his own prison by inviting the smoke. Now he is trying to sue the person who gave him exactly what he asked for, and seeing this level of desperation is honestly embarrassing. It is pathetic to see a man who claims he is the king of the mountain crying to a group of judges about a loss. The legal momentum has shifted so far against Drake that this appeal looks like a desperate attempt to save face. Professor Larissa Litsky led this Yale brief, and this powerhouse legal mind did not hold back when she exposed the massive holes in Drake's logic. Litsky argues that consent serves as an absolute defense against intentional torts in the state of New York, so you cannot sue over actions you gave permission for. These scholars compare Drake to a confident boxer who goes out of his way to challenge a world champion for a high-stakes prize fight. After getting knocked out on live television while millions watch the highlight reel on repeat, this boxer heads straight to the police station to file a report. Trying to sue the champion for battery just because he got punched in the face is exactly how these experts view Drake's current legal tantrum. They told the court that any rapper entering a high-profile diss battle is like that boxer because the sport itself requires taking hits to the chin. Signing up for a lyrical war means you cannot run to a judge when you end up on the floor with your head spinning. The brief states that Drake's lawsuit must fail because he actively invited the specific allegations he is now crying about like a victim. This move frames him as a sore loser with a bruised ego who is trying to use the American legal system to fix a public loss. Hypocrisy is the only word for a man who spent his entire career talking about how tough he is and how he handles his own business. These Yale scholars are laughing at the idea that a rapper can claim his feelings were hurt after goading his opponent to give him his best shot. Legal protection does not exist to save people from the consequences of a fight they started and then lost in embarrassing fashion. If the court listened to Drake, every rapper who loses a battle will clog up the legal system with lawsuits because their feelings got hurt. This boxing match defense dismantles his entire strategy because it highlights how he is trying to change the rules just because he got hit the hardest. Conflict was something Drake primarily drove until things got a little too real for him to handle, according to these legal experts. Treating the Second Circuit Court of Appeals like a personal security team makes Drake look desperate to avoid the truth of what happened on the charts. Once you step into that lyrical ring, you have given up your right to complain about the punches that land on your face. Drake wanted the crown and he wanted the smoke, but now that he is covered in soot, he wants the government to clean him up. Judges need to understand how dangerous it would be to let a celebrity use defamation laws to rewrite rap history, and Yale is making that clear. This boxing analogy is the most savage part of the filing because it makes Drake look small in a way no Kendrick verse could. Exposure is coming for someone who loves competition until he realizes he is not the one holding the trophy at the end of the night. Scholars told Drake that he consented to the fade, and now he has to live with the results like any other fighter. Devastating blows are landing on his legal team because this brief simplifies a complex argument down to the reality that anyone can understand. Suing a person for beating you in a game that you insisted on playing in front of the entire world is simply not how the law works. His attempt to claim he was blindsided by these lyrics is being shown as a total lie by people who study the law for a living. They highlighted the fact that he was a willing participant who thought he would win easily, and now he is looking for an exit strategy. Academia can see he is trying to sue his way out of a legacy-defining defeat, which means the boy is losing for good this time. Proof exists that Drake is the architect of his own downfall, making this boxing match defense the nail in the coffin for his appeal. Straight up, Drake is out of moves, and the legal world is finally calling him out on his nonsense. Those Yale scholars are actually using Drake's own bars to bury his legal case, and it is a savage move to see his words become the murder weapon. They pointed straight at the tailor-made freestyle from April 19, 2024. This was the exact moment Drake decided to get arrogant and literally dared Kendrick to mention the accusations about him liking young girls. Drake was not just battling at that point because he was actively goading Kendrick to take the specific angle he is now calling defamatory in a courtroom. You cannot play the victim when high-definition audio exists of you begging for the same energy you are now crying about to a judge. This brief even brings up the heart. Part 6 from May 5th, 2024, where Drake admitted on the record that he expected the Epstein references because he thought he was playing chess. That admission shows he was fully prepared for the smoke. He cannot act surprised about damages when he set the stage with his own hands. These scholars are calling it a call and response dynamic, where Drake invited every single allegation on a record for millions of fans to hear. Experts are now arguing that Drake waived his right to sue under the consent doctrine, and that means you cannot give permission for a hit, then complain when it lands. Before we move on and see how these scholars are about to expose the hypocrisy behind his protect black art stance, tell me what y'all think. Did he officially waive his right to complain the second he called it chess? Tell me in the comments. No cap, and while you at it, hit that like and subscribe. Let's continue. The heat is coming from all sides now. Scholars from Howard, Tulane, and Virginia Tech just dropped a second amicus brief to add to the pressure. These experts are working with the UCI Intellectual Property Clinic to argue that treating diss tracks like factual statements is a massive threat to the future of music. They claim Drake is ignoring the entire history of hip-hop, where exaggeration and lyrical warfare have been the standard since day one. The hypocrisy here is actually disgusting when you remember how Drake publicly backed the Protect Black Art campaign not that long ago. He used to be one of the loudest people saying rap lyrics should never be evidence in court. Now he is trying to use Kendrick's bars as evidence just to win a petty grudge match. Those scholars pointed to 30 years of research showing that rap lyrics get judged way more harshly by biased jurors than any other type of music. Drake is basically siding with the same legal systems that target and destroy black artists just because he is desperate to get a win. It is a nasty look for a man who claims to love the culture to provide a blueprint for prosecutors to use art against the creators. He is telling the whole world that rules only matter when they benefit him, and he is willing to burn the house down just for a drop of revenge. This move from the Howard and Tulane scholars is a huge blow because it shows the smartest minds in black academia see right through his games. They know that if Drake wins this appeal, it sets a dangerous precedent that could be used to lock up rappers for their lyrics. Drake is playing right into the hands of a system that has spent decades using rap music to criminalize young black men. It is a betrayal of everything hip-hop stands for. These scholars are highlighting how Drake is moving against his own principles just to get a temporary advantage. The man already lost the fight in the streets. This second brief shows the academic world is unified in the belief that Drake is making a mistake that could hurt everyone in the music business. Drake is trying to change the nature of rap just to save his reputation from a verse that the whole world knows is the truth. The real irony is that by filing this lawsuit, he is proving that Kendrick had enough power to make him abandon his beliefs. Legal experts from prestigious universities are standing up for the culture, while Drake tries to sell it out for a win he will never get. Betraying the fans and the artists who fought for decades to keep hip-hop bars out of the courtroom is a new low even for him. Drake is siding with the prosecutors and the police just because he got his feelings hurt by a better lyricist. The scholars want the court to understand that Drake was a willing participant who is now trying to weaponize the law against his own platform. This hypocrisy will be the defining moment of his career. UMG already stepped up on March 27th, and they absolutely tore Drake's appeal to shreds by calling his legal strategy both hypocritical and nonsensical, which shows they have no interest in protecting him here. Suing your business partners for the results of a rap battle you promoted yourself is a losing move, and UMG pointed that out clearly. Desperation reaches a new level when your own label and the most powerful music company on the planet are laughing at your legal filings. Heavy hitters from Yale Law and the top social scientists in the country are all siding with the original dismissal, which means Drake's chances of winning this appeal remain at near zero. We have to remember that Judge Jeanette Vargas already handed him a massive loss back in October of 2025 when she ruled that Kendrick's lyrics fell under protected opinion. These new briefs from the scholars are just reinforcing what the judge already decided. The fact that Judge Vargas identified these lyrics as protected opinion is a massive hurdle that Drake's team has failed to clear in every single filing they have made so far. Lawyers keep trying to frame these bars as literal, factual claims, but the court sees rap as an art form built on metaphor. By trying to fight this in court, Drake is essentially admitting that he cannot handle the pressure of the culture he claims to lead. If he actually loved hip-hop like he says he does, he would have kept this on the records. Drake has until April 17, 2026 to file his final reply to these briefs, but at this point, it feels like he is just tossing money down a bottomless pit. Momentum continues shifting so heavily toward Kendrick and UMG that it is hard to see any court in the country reversing the decision to throw this nonsense out of the building. Kendrick has already moved on and is probably in the studio laughing at how much power his words had over a man who used to think he was untouchable. Drake's legacy undergoes a rewrite in real time as a cautionary tale about what happens when you let your ego get in the way of your common sense. He thought he controlled the narrative, but the legal scholars at Yale are now writing the final chapter. This whole situation proves once and for all that Drake lost the battle on the charts. He lost the battle in the streets, and now he is losing for good in the highest courts in the land. Everything is a wrap for the boy because expensive legal maneuvering cannot change the fact that a real lyricist completely outplayed him. A legendary fall from grace like this shows why you should never challenge a king unless you are ready to deal with the consequences. Before we move on and see how Kendrick continues to dominate without even having to lift a finger in court, tell me what y'all think about these Yale scholars coming for Drake's neck. Tell me in the comments if that boxing match analogy is the ultimate roast or if those Ivy League professors went too far with the shade. While you are at it, please like and subscribe to the channel so we can continue this conversation.